Waiting for Facebook to load up over here. Welcome, Facebook. So for those who are joining live, for those who watch the replay, I want to say welcome. My name is Deborah Taylor. I'm the author of the Scribe of Watchmen, and the co-founder of the Writers Incorporated International. So I'm back again for a second series. In this series, I want to talk about biblical fasting and how to fast and different types of fasting. So let's get started. Yesterday I talked about intermittent fasting and how the world takes on various characteristics of fasting that is extracted from the Bible itself. However, there is a type of fast that supersedes intermittent fasting and any other type of fasting, and it's called biblical fasting. Biblical fasting. This type of fasting is defined as abstaining from food for spiritual purposes. The purpose of your fast determines the type of fast that you're doing. If you're doing fasting, it is not fasting, it's weight loss. It is what I call, when they talk about intermittent fasting, it is not a biblical principle. It is more or less reducing your intake, but they don't have a better term than to call it intermittent fasting. So when we're talking about biblical fasting, we're looking from the Bible itself, the Christian Bible, no other Bible. There are different types of fasts in various religions and cultures, and I understand that, but I'm talking about from the Christian perspective, this type of biblical fasting. So you want to abstain from it. And the reason why is because, as I posted on Instagram, fasting is a weapon. Fasting is a weapon. Fasting coupled with prayer are weapons. These are weapons to tear down strongholds, to get you closer to God, to allow you to have greater clarity in how you are able to hear Him. So there was a question that was posed to me. Well, how do I start fasting? How do I start fasting? First of all, let me put a disclaimer in here. I am not a medical doctor. So if you are on some type of medications of any type, let me encourage you, go talk to your doctor first to get their approval before you start any type of fast. Because when you're taking certain medications, you have to have food. You have to have food. But there's maybe some type of way you can integrate fasting with it where you just eat smaller or have maybe hours of segments of fasting, and maybe you can continue that way. But like I say, I'm not a medical doctor. So, but if you've never fasted before, it's best that you ease your way into the process. You want to ease into the process of fasting. My church at one point did a fast. They were going to do, a 21-day fast. We had to build up to it. We started off the first week with like no sweets, no bread, no dairy. We were able to, and no meat. We just had to eat fruits and vegetables and try to cut out all that. They didn't say anything about caffeine, so we still had certain types of liquids, but they were very strict. And we did it for 4 days until by the time we got to the third week, we were on a total fast, a complete fast. And on the last day of that fast, there was actually a deliverance service that occurred. And a lot of people were set free. And to be truthful, there were Christians in the church that were under strongholds that were released that day, that it was just like, oh my gosh. I was like, it was so many people being delivered. I was like, God, I pray that my spirit is right, because these people are like manifesting. Anyway, you want to begin a fast by easing into it. You may want to start with, say, from 6 p.m. to noon the next day. You want to ease into it. You may just start with just liquids, straight liquids, maybe some teas or something like that. You want to ease into it until you can build up to the point where you're doing 24 hours. And then after 24 hours, you want to do 18 hours, 48 hours, 2 days, a whole day, 72 hours until you build up to it. But once you get accustomed to doing that, then it's easier to do a biblical fast. Daniel, in the book of Daniel, he did a fast for 21 days. He wanted to seek God for some specific answers. And so he pulled back from, I don't know, maybe he did a full fast. I don't know, because his lifestyle was a fast. Daniel had a lifestyle of fasting. Christ did a 40-day fast. So he did it because he knew it was the start of his ministry. He was about to go into a new level of ministry in his life. So he did a 40-day fast. Esther did a 3-day fast. So these are some type of fasting. You want to start, just for my notes here that I have, there's the partial fast. This partial fast is where you abstain from certain types of foods, drinks, all that. The supernatural fast is the total fast. That means no water, no drink. It is a supernatural fast. That's when you're looking for complete 100% deliverance or breakthrough of some type of matter. Then there's a complete fast where you may do juicing. Some people do juicing because of the particular maybe medical conditions that they have. You may want to integrate juicing. But let me encourage you, when you start your fast, when you start fasting for any moment, any time, any situation, understand your why. Understand why you are fasting. Your motive has to be pure. When you are fasting for biblical purposes, you're fasting for repentance. Maybe you're looking for some type of supernatural strength against the attack of the enemy. Maybe you're looking to break a demonic bondage. You're looking for perhaps an awakening or a spiritual hunger for God. Maybe you want to fast to test and see what desires control us. A lot of times food can control you. So you're fasting for that reason. Maybe you're fasting. These are some right motives to forfeit good things and for the better and for something that's best. Maybe you just want to fast just for to help maybe a direction or to help the poor. Check the motives of your heart. Check and make sure that you are fasting for the right reason. If you're fasting for the wrong reason, let's talk about some of the wrong reasons. Matthew 6:18 says, don't fast to be seen by others. Don't fast to be seen by others. It's critical that you keep it private. It's not about anyone else. It's about you and God when you're doing a biblical fast. You want to do a fast to be justified by God. And that's in Luke 18, verses 12 through 14. You go ahead and read that story. Luke 18, 12 through 14. And then the third reason why you don't want to be fast, or you're fasting for the wrong reason, is because you want God to pat you on your back. You want God to say, oh, good girl, good guy, good boy. No, you fast for repentance, spiritual strength, to break spiritual bondage, an awakening, to test to see what desires control you, to forfeit things so that you can get something that's better, and to express your hunger for God's return. These are reasons why we fast. We don't fast necessarily to lose weight. That comes with fasting because you're not eating. So be encouraged. And for those who are watching the replay, my name is Deborah Taylor. I'm the author, the scribe, and watchman, and the co-founder of the Writers Incorn International. And I'm excited to share with you about this series on fasting. If you're starting a fast for the first time, take it slow. Do it in increments. It's just like anything in life. You start slow, you build momentum, and then eventually you're able to do longer and more extended times of fasting. So until next time, bye Facebook.